Okay, fine. So, good morning. We were looking at the steam turbines, multi-stage steam turbines. In the last class, we were looking at the some kind of relationship between the speed ratio, alpha, and your constants, all those things. Now, if I consider a two-row velocity compounded turbine or a wheel, so what will be the value of your phi, that is speed ratio? What is the optimized value of it? So there is an expression for it. So what we'll do is actually we'll try to get the expression for it. Expression for the most economical, that is optimal value. Expression for the most economical value of phi. Okay, for a two-row velocity compounded wheel. Velocity compounded turbine wheel. So this is maybe a subtopic what we'll try to look at. Okay. So to get the expressions, we need to draw the velocity triangles. So what I have done is I have written two velocity triangles, one for the first row and this is for the second row. But just by looking at the velocity triangles, I could clearly tell that the energy available at the row 1 is bigger compared to the energy available at the row 2. Okay, so this is what we can clearly conclude. Now let us consider the first row velocity triangle. So A, B, D. So I have named something like this. So V1, VR1, you have U, VW1, VF1, and you have the VF2 here. VF2, VW2, everything is there. And similarly, instead of maybe I can go with either 1 V1 or 1 V2 like that, or I can go with V1, V2 for the first stage, first row, and V3, V4 for the second row. So whatever the way you want, it's only a notation. That's it. It doesn't matter. But whatever you want to consider, that you should be able to write it very clearly. Now, if I consider the first case, see here, what is your delta VW for the first row? It's actually VW1 plus VW2 because VW2 is in opposite direction to VW1. So this is VW1 into V2 plus B2. So that is CA plus EAE. CA plus EAE. Now, if I come to the second row, if I come to the second row, so what I have is actually I have the same VW3 plus VW4. VW3 plus VW4. If you look at it, so in that case, delta VW for the second row is equal to VW3 plus VW4, which is equal to LG plus, sorry, I can write it as, uh, yeah, VW3 is actually LG. Okay, this is actually LG plus GN. Okay, LG plus GN. So now, if this particular thing, now let us try to obtain the expression for it. To do that, actually, let's try to make some assumptions. Let's try to make some assumptions. What are the assumptions? The first assumption, what I'm going to make is the blades are equiangular. Equiangular. What do you mean by it actually? Beta 1 is equal to beta 2 and beta 3 is equal to beta 4. Okay, this is the thing. Then, do you know that there is a friction coefficient? CB, which is the friction coefficient, which is the friction coefficient. Maybe we can assume friction coefficient is same, or it is the value is same for both the rows, both the first row as well as the second row. Then what is the CB? That is CB is equal to VR2 by VR1, which is equal to VR4 by VR3. Okay. Now, if you look at it actually, at the same time, I have carryover coefficient. I have a carryover coefficient, so which may be with respect to your V3 and V2. Okay, there is a friction between the exit, so you have the carryover coefficient between V3 and V2. So that also your psi as well as your CB can be same. So that also I can assume, that also I can write it. But if you want, make it, you can write it or you can leave it. Maybe further derivation, if you need it, actually we'll consider that. Now, what is the expression for the blade efficiency? So therefore, the blade efficiency, see the blade efficiency is given by, okay, the blade efficiency is given by, that is your work done, that is delta VW1 plus delta VW2 into U whole thing divided by your kinetic energy at the inlet, that is V1 square by 2. Or I can write it as the blade efficiency is equal to 2 times your U into delta VW1 plus delta VW for the second row. Whole thing divided by V1 square. Let me call that as expression number 1. Now, let us go to the velocity triangles. Okay, let us go to the velocity triangles. From the inlet velocity triangle, okay, from the velocity triangles for first row, from the velocity triangles for the first row, let me write for the first row, then we'll come to the second row one by one. So first row, I can write delta VW1 is equal to CA plus EE, or that's one thing. Then if I go cosine, so cosine of alpha 1 is equal to, okay, your adjacent is CA, that is VW1 divided by V1, or your CA or V1 is equal to VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha. I can write it as, so delta VW for the first row is equal to CA plus EE, and also cos alpha 1 is equal to CA by V1, or I can write CA is equal to V1 cos alpha 1. Okay. Now similarly, what is cos beta 1? Cos beta 1 is equal to CD or DC, CDC by VR1. Okay. Then what is this DC? DC is equal to your CA minus U. Okay. Your DC is equal, sorry, your DC or CD, whatever is then, is equal to your VW1 or CA minus U, or VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. Okay. So therefore, cos beta 1 is equal to your CD divided by VR1, or your CD I can write it as, okay, CA minus your U divided by VR1. Your CA is V1 cos alpha 1 minus U divided by VR1, or I can write VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. This is my second equation. Similarly, from the first row, what is cos beta 2? Cos beta 2 is equal to dE divided by VR2, or dE is equal to VR2 into cos beta 2. Okay. So therefore, cos beta 2 is equal to adjacent, that is dE divided by VR2, or I can write your dE is equal to VR2 cos beta 2. Let me call this as equation number 3. Now, as we have made an assumption as beta 1 is equal to beta 2, this is because of equiangular, what will happen? And also I have CB is equal to VR2 by VR1, or VR2 is equal to CB into VR1. I'll try. So what will happen to your DE? DE, therefore, I can write DE is equal to CB into VR1 into cos beta 2. Okay. Now cos beta 1 is equal to cos beta 2. Okay. Cos beta 1 is equal to beta 2. I can write DE is equal to CB into VR1 into cos beta 1, because your cos beta 1 is equal to cos beta 2 due to equiangular. What is VR1 cos beta 1? It is V1 cos alpha 1 minus 2. Okay, therefore, your DE, I can write it as CB into V1 cos alpha 1 minus C. Okay, so this is about it. Then go to this particular triangle. What is your this point? AE. AE is equal to your, so AE is equal to DE minus U. I can write AE is equal to DE minus U. Okay. So from the triangle, I can write AE is equal to DE minus U, or I can write AE is equal to CB into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U minus of U. Okay, this is, let me call it as some equation number 4 or something. Okay. Okay, now I have got this particular thing. What is it actually? Therefore, your delta VW1 is equal to what? CA plus AE. Okay. Now let me substitute for each and everything. What is my CA? CA is equal to, okay, what is your CA? CA is equal to V1 cos alpha. What is your AE? It is CB into V1 cos alpha minus U into minus U. Okay, let me substitute for this. This is V1 cos alpha plus CB into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U minus of U. So if you want, you can open the brackets. This will be V1 cos alpha 1 plus CB into V1 cos alpha 1 minus CB into U, okay, minus, okay, minus of, I'm going to open this bracket, so this will be U. So if you want, you can call this as equation number 4. So this one, okay, this you call it as 4, and I can call this as equation number 5. So I got the expression for delta VW1. Okay. Now one more thing here, for a shockless entry, for a shockless entry with friction, for a shockless entry with friction, that is for the second row, from first row to second row here, see, your V2 will be equal to your friction coefficient and V3, or CB will be equal to, that means whatever the particular thing, there is only friction, I don't have any shocks. Okay, for this condition, your CB will be equal to V3 by 2. So this is only for condition. And also, your alpha 2 should be equal to alpha 3. So that there is one more condition. Your alpha 2 should be equal to alpha 3. This is the condition under which you can have, say, shockless entry. Let me write that. For a shockless entry with friction, alpha 2 is equal to alpha 3. See, shockless entry with friction to the second row. Let me write that. Then it will be equal. Shockless entry with friction to the second row. To the second row, these are the conditions. That is, alpha 2 is equal to alpha 3 and your CB is equal to V3 by V2. This condition it has to satisfy. Okay. Now let us go to this delta VW. Okay. Now, see, I have written as VW3 plus VW4. I have written as VW3 plus VW4. Let me write that. So this is LG plus GN. Okay. LG plus GN. So therefore, from the second row it is LG plus. So from the second row of this particular thing, I can write from the velocity triangle from the velocity triangles for the second row. I can write delta VW2 is equal to LG plus GN. So let me call that as sum and okay and cos alpha 3. Let me go here. What is your cos alpha 3? Cos alpha 3 is equal to LG divided by V3. Or I can write LG is equal to V3 into cos alpha. Same thing I'm going to do. Is equal to LG plus V3, or I can write this will be equal to LG by V3, or LG is equal to V3 cos alpha 3. And one more thing. What is this see, if you go back and see, what is your V3? V3 is equal to CB into V2. So therefore, I can write your LG is equal to CB into V2 into cos alpha 3. Let me call this as equation number 6. Okay. Now, what is this V2 into alpha 3? Okay, V2 into alpha 3. Now, I told that your alpha 2 is equal to alpha 3. Your alpha 2 is equal to alpha 3. Just go back here. Alpha 2, where is it? That means your alpha 2 is equal to alpha 3. So what will happen to you from that particular triangle? I can write, so your alpha 2, this is the one, what I have, your alpha 2 is equal to your alpha 3. This is the angle. That is for a shockless entry, but there will be a little bit of friction. That's the condition what I am trying to do, so that the fluid enters the second row with friction, but without any shocks. It should be a slide movement. It will be just simply a slide movement. That's the condition. Now, when you have this actually, what is this V2 cos alpha? Or I can write, your, what is that? What is your AE? Already we have written AE is equal to, where is it? Yeah. What is your AE? AE is equal to, okay, AE is equal to your CB into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. Okay. Now, V1 cos alpha, your V2 cos alpha 1, okay, V2 cos alpha 2, and your, what is it? V2 cos alpha 3, what I consider. So that I have to write in terms of your AE. That I have to write in terms of AE. So let me substitute for that actually. That is, what is it? Yeah. Whatever we have done now, very similar to that I need to do. We have to do this thing. So as my beta 3 is equal to, or I can go and do for cos beta 3. What is your cos beta 3? Cos beta 3 is equal to, let me write that. What is your cos beta 3? cos beta 3 is equal to Lm by VR3, or your Lm is equal to VR3 into cos beta 3. Okay, let me go here. So cos beta 3 is equal to Lm divided by VR3 in that way. Similarly, what is your cos beta 4? Cos beta 4 is equal to Mn divided by VR4. Mn, similarly, cos beta 4 is equal to Mn by VR4, or I can write Mn is equal to VR4 into cos beta 4. So now I have written each and everything in terms of cos beta 1, cos beta 1, beta 2 for the first row, and for the second row it is cos beta 3 and cos beta 4. Okay. Now if you go back and see here, so see what we have done, V1 cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. Okay, V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. Now your Lm is equal to VR3 into cos beta 3. So your cos beta 3 is equal to your beta 4. So beta 3 is equal to beta 4 because of equiangular. Equiangular, same thing whatever we did now for the first stage, equiangular, and your CB, that is, and CB is equal to VR4 by VR3, or I can write, wherever I have VR4 I can write it as VR3 into CB or CB into VR3. I can write it as CB into VR3. Okay. So therefore, Mn is equal to, okay, CB into VR3 into cos beta 4. Right. Let me call this as some equation number 7. Okay. If I call this as some 7, then I can. So now you have two things here. I have Lm in terms of C, VR3 into cos beta 3, and Mn in terms of CB into VR3 into cos beta 3. Okay. Now I need to substitute this in terms of alphas. I have to substitute this in terms of alphas. So how we can do that actually? I need to substitute in terms of alpha 2 and alpha 3. Let me go over here. Okay. Let me go here. What is, you see, we got this particular thing. AE is equal to DE minus U. AE is equal to DE minus U. Okay, what I did actually, AE is equal to your DE minus U. Similarly, what I will do, GN is equal to MN minus GN. Okay, Mn minus Mg. Okay, I will write here, I can write, therefore, your Gn is equal to your Mg here. Okay, Gn is equal to Mn minus Mg. Mn minus Mg. Okay. What is your Mn? Mn is equal to, just now we have found, it is Cb into VR3 into cos beta 4 minus U. Okay. Cos beta 4 minus U. This is what we got. Now cos beta 4. What is cos beta 4? I can write it as, see, if you go back and see your cos beta 2, I can write the similar way what I did for AE. What I did for AE in the similar fashion I can write. Your, what is your VR3 into cos beta 3? VR3 into cos beta 3, I can write it as beta 1 is equal to beta 2. Either I can write beta 4 as beta 3. Okay. Then VR3 cos beta 3, I can write it as maybe V3 cos alpha 2 minus U. Okay. Just similar to that. Just because your cos beta 3 is equal to cos beta 4. I can write this as CB into VR3 into cos beta 3 minus U. Cos beta 3 minus U. So I got this expression. Now beta 3 is equal to, now what is VR3 into cos beta 3? If you want, I can write in terms of, to go and just check it, very similar to what we did here. Similar to what we did here. So we got VR1, see from the cos beta 1, we got V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. Here I can write, okay, where is cos beta 3, okay. So in terms of alpha, okay. Here I can write CD as CA minus U. CD as, just check it, CD as CA minus U. Similarly, I can write LG as, see, LM as LG minus MN. Okay, LG minus MN. That is, LG is VW3 minus U. Okay, I can write LM. Okay, that is LM. LM as V3 minus U. So therefore, I can write LM is equal to your LG, sorry, LG minus MG. LG minus MG. That is, okay, that's equal to V3 minus U. Sorry, VW3 minus U. VW3 minus U. Then what is your VW3? VW3, if you take cos alpha 3, this will be actually VW3 by V3, or I can write VW3 as V3 cos alpha 3 minus U. V3 cos alpha 3 minus U. So I'm trying to write this in terms of this part. So I'm going to substitute this LM, or, yeah, it's equal to V3. So wherever this particular thing, I can write it as V3 cos alpha 3 minus U. So wherever you have this particular thing, no, I will try to write in terms of this quantity. I will write in terms of, that is your VR3, that is your LM3. This is equal to, that is LM is equal to VR3 into cos beta 3. I can write V3 cos alpha 3 minus U. So therefore, your GN is equal to CB into V3 cos alpha 3 minus U minus U. Okay, so this I can call it as equation 8. I am calling this as equation number 8. Now we will try to substitute this in my equation. We will try to substitute this in my equation, which is equation delta VW2. That is LG plus GN. Okay, LG, I have to substitute for LG. What is LG? LG is equal to, see, if you go back here, what is your LG is VW3, which is VW3 is equal to, I can write it as VW3, I can write it as V3 cos alpha 3. So similarly, whatever I did for the first stage, I will try to do for delta VW2 also. Okay. Therefore, delta VW2 is equal to, that is VW3, that is V3 cos alpha 3 plus your GN. I can write it as CB into whatever we did here, CB into, here it was V1 cos alpha 1 minus this thing, here I'll write in terms of 3. So this will be CB into V3 cos alpha 3 minus U of minus U. So if I try to open this bracket, this will be V3 cos alpha 3 plus CB into V3 cos alpha 3 minus CB into U minus U. So let me call this as equation number 9. So I got these expressions in terms of velocities and alphas. Okay, that is your delta VW1 and delta VW2. These are the conditions. These are the conditions what we are trying to get it. Now, let us try to add this. So for this one actually, as I told that your alpha 2, see, there is a condition. Your alpha 3 should be for a shockless entry. What we assumed, your alpha 3 is equal to, your alpha 3 should be equal to your alpha 2. No, that's a shockless entry. Your alpha 3, where is it? We have written. Yeah, for a shockless entry, we have assumed your alpha 3 is equal to alpha, yeah, alpha 2 is equal to alpha 3. So we'll try to use that condition. Use that condition. And also, for a shockless entry, sorry, this is not 2. This should be 1 actually. Your alpha 3 should be equal to alpha 1. 3 should be equal to alpha 1 because those angles should be similar, because it is a two-row this thing. For a shockless entry, your alpha, this is the angle. This angle, sorry. This angle, not this one. This is a bit difficult. Okay. Your alpha 2 alpha 3 should be equal to your alpha 1. Okay. Now with that the condition. Now with that condition, so I can write wherever I have my alpha 3, I can write in terms of alpha 3, I can write in terms of alpha 1. I can write in terms of alpha 1. So let me substitute that. So if I go here, I can write it as, therefore your delta VW2 is equal to V3 cos alpha 1 plus CB into V3 cos alpha 1 minus CB into U into U. So let me call this as equation 9 rather than that one. This as equation number 9. So I got these conditions. Now under these conditions, say I have different velocities. What are the velocities? The velocities are V1, V2 and V3. Okay, V1, V2 and V3 I can write it. Now let's try to add this for different conditions. For different conditions, we'll try to add this. Okay. First case 1. Case 1. Okay. Delta VW is equal to delta VW1 plus delta VW2. Okay, we'll try to add it. What is delta VW1? It is V1 cos alpha 1 plus CB into V1 cos alpha 1 minus CB into U minus U plus, okay, I have this particular thing, it is V3. You can write it as, this is V3 cos alpha 1 3 cos alpha 1 plus CB into V3. Let me write it to the left hand side a little bit so I can have some space. Fine. Cos alpha 1, write this as delta VW is equal to V3 cos alpha 1 minus, plus CB into V3 cos alpha 1 minus CB into U minus U. This is the expression what I got it. Okay, this is the condition what I had. Now, is it possible for us to simplify this? Okay, is it possible for us to simplify this? So with that condition, we have to look at. So now, V1 cos alpha is there, V1 cos alpha, and is it possible to write V3 in terms of V1? V3 in terms of V1. If you are able to do that, then we will be able to simplify this expression. If you are able to write this V3 in terms of V1, okay, V3 in terms of V3 cos alpha, V3 in terms of V1. Go back and see that. Okay. So what we have done? So what is your cos alpha 2? Okay, what is your cos alpha 2? We have written somewhere. Okay. So let me write this. Okay. From the velocity triangles, let me write what is your cos alpha 3. Okay, let me write this. What is your cos alpha 3? Cos alpha 3 is equal to Lg divided by V3. Or I can write cos alpha 3 is equal to, sorry, your Lg is equal to V3 into cos alpha. Or I can write Vg by your V3, I can write it as Cb into V2 cos alpha 2, or V2 cos alpha 2 as V2 cos alpha, where it is, I have written somewhere, or cos alpha 2. Yeah, what is cos alpha 2? I have written somewhere. Cos alpha 2, yeah. Cos alpha 2, I can write it as AE by this thing. Okay, let me write that. So here, a bit complicated. So that's why I written the expression first. Then we'll do cos alpha 3. I can write it as, let me write this, cos alpha 3 is equal to Lg. It's a very lengthy derivation actually. Lg divided by V3, or I can write your Lg is equal to V3 cos alpha 3, or I can write this as Cb into your V2 cos alpha 2. Let me call this as equation number 10. Okay. Now, what is cos alpha 2? If you go to the first row velocity triangle, what is cos alpha 2? Let me go and check it here. Okay. If you go to here, what is cos alpha 2? Cos alpha 2 is equal to AE by V2. Okay. AE by V2. Cos alpha 2 is equal to, I can write it is AE by V2, or I can write AE is equal to V2 cos alpha 2. That means I can write Lg is equal to Cb into AE. Okay, Cb into AE. Here the turning point will come. Okay. Now what is this AE? AE V2 cos alpha 2. Already if you go back and see, I have written AE in terms of like this. Okay, I have written AE is equal to Cb into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U minus of U. Okay, I can simplify that. Okay, I will do that. Okay, that means this Lg I can write it as, okay, therefore your Lg I can write it as Cb into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U minus U, or I can write it is Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus Cb square into U minus Cb into U, or I can write Lg is equal to, okay, Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U into minus Cb into U. So here See, all this expressions, no, whatever we have written, this thing, I can write it in V1 cos alpha 1. See, if you go back and see, what is this thing? This is equal to, this is your Lg. If you write the same thing in terms of alphas, I can write in that particular form. If I want this expression in terms of, see, this is the case 1 what I've written. So now this is for case 2. I didn't write here, sorry. This is for case 2 where I can write it in terms of alphas, in terms of alpha 2, alpha only in terms of only alpha 1. Only in terms of alpha 1 and in terms of V1. I don't have any V3 value, all those things. So to do that, this is the case 2. Now this Lg is equal to, this is the value. So Cb square into this thing. Now, what is your cos beta C? Already we have this, we have taken this. Cos beta 3 is equal to Lm. This is V3 cos alpha 3 we have. Okay. This is V3 cos alpha 3 is equal to this thing. Lm, what you have taken? Okay. Okay, we have VR3. Yeah, VR3. What you have taken? 1 minute. Lm is equal to Lg minus, yeah, here we have V3 cos alpha 3. Already we have taken this. It is V3. So V3 cos alpha 3 minus U. Okay. So I can write the same thing in terms of cos beta 3. Cos beta 3, I can write it as Lm by VR3, or Lm is equal to VR3 cos beta 3. And what is your Lm? Lm is already we have written, no? Where is it, Lm? Just now we got, no? Did you write MLM? Lm is equal to, let me write it like this. Lm is equal to, let me go to the last triangle. I can write Lm is equal to Lg minus Mg. Okay. So Lg we have. Okay. Lm I can write it as, this is simplification. This is second case. Lm I can write it as, so therefore I can write Lm is equal to Lg minus Mg. What is your Mg? Mg is U. So go back and see here, your Mg is equal to U. I can write Lg right now, whatever we have, and Mg I will write in terms of U. Okay, is equal to, your Lg is equal to Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U, okay, minus Cb into U minus U. This is the value of your Lm. Okay, this is the value of your Lm. Now already we have this Lm. So what is your Lm? Lm is actually VR3 into cos beta 3. This already we have this. Say VR3 into cos beta 3 is equal to Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U into Cb into U minus U. Okay, and Cb is equal to that thing, everything we have. Now what is your Mn? So now I have to substitute for Mn. Where is it? Yeah. So I have this Mn. Mn is equal to Cb into VR3 into cos beta 4. And I can write this Mn as Cb into VR3 into cos beta 3. So for this particular thing, so now I will take the Mn. So therefore, your Mn is equal to, okay, your Mn is equal to Cb into VR3 into cos beta 4, because beta 3 is equal to beta 4. I am writing this as Cb into VR3 into cos beta 3. See, it's a very lengthy derivation. We have to do this. There is no other go. Now what I will do actually, I'll substitute for this thing. Substitute for this VR3 into cos beta 3, this particular thing with this one. Okay, that's why I taken this as second case. Mn is equal to, I can write it as Cb, okay, into, okay, Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U minus Cb into U, okay, minus U. So if I open the bracket, your Mn is equal to Cb square, sorry, Cb square into Cb square to Cb cube into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U minus Cb square, that is into U minus Cb into U. Okay, I have got expression for your Mn and I have the expression for your Lm. Okay, Lm and Mn. I got this expression. Now we can substitute and we can get the value for your delta VW. So therefore, your delta VW, if you go back and check here, if you go back and check here, your delta VW, so that is yours equal to Lm plus Mn. It's very similar to your Lg plus Gn. It's very similar to your Lg plus Gn. I can write it. So to get the expression in terms of VW1, sorry, V1 cos alpha, we are doing all this exercise. So therefore, your VW2 is equal to Lm plus Mn, or I can write, so let me take it to the left hand side a little bit, okay, is equal to, what is your Lm? It is Cb square. So Lm is equal to Cb square. Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U minus Cb into U minus U plus Mn, that is Cb cube into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U minus Cb square into U minus Cb into U. Okay, now we have to simplify this. So Cb square, let me open this bracket. This will be Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus Cb square into U minus Cb into U minus U plus Cb cube into V1 cos alpha 1 minus Cb cube into U minus Cb square into U minus Cb into U. Okay, this is what we are going to get. If you want, we can simplify further. I can write Cb cube as the first one. Cb cube, let me write it as delta VW2 is equal to Cb cube V1 cos alpha 1 plus, I'm just rearranging it, Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus, so I have Cb cube into U minus, so I have 1 minus Cb square, okay, here I have 1 Cb square, 1 Cb square, so this will be minus 2 Cb square into U, then I have 1 minus Cbu here, 1 minus Cbu, so that is minus 2 Cb into U minus, I have only 1 U. So this is the thing what I have. So this will be your expression for your delta VW2. So in your delta VW1 is V1 cos alpha 1 plus Cb into V1 cos alpha 1 minus Cb into U. But your delta VW2, instead of writing in terms of V3 cos alpha 2 or whatever is there, I am trying to write in terms of alpha 1s. The expression becomes something like this. Okay. So therefore, your delta VW is equal to delta VW1 plus delta VW2. You have to add it. It's a very lengthy expression. And you add the whatever is there. What is your delta VW1? Your delta VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 plus Cb into V1 cos alpha 1 minus Cb into U minus U. So this is for your delta VW1 plus, okay, your delta VW2, whatever we derived just now, no, those things we will write it here, plus Cb cube into V1 cos alpha 1 plus Cb square into V1 cos alpha 1 minus Cb cube into U minus 2Cb square into U minus 2Cb into U minus U. So this is the expression for your delta VW2. So we got one for delta VW1 and one for delta VW2. So now we can simplify this. Okay. One, see, I can take your CB is there, no? CB square, all those things. I'll take it as some constant C1 or K1 or K2 and all. Okay. 2 plus 3CB, wherever is there. Then 2CB square plus CB cube and all. I can have some constant. Okay. I can write it in a different form so that K1, K2, V1 square. So I have V1 cos alpha, wherever is there. So let me write that. So I can take V1 cos alpha 1, I will take it out. Okay. So if I take it, I have 1 plus, where I have this CB1 cos alpha, I have CB square plus CB cube. Okay. 1 plus, so CB is also there. Sorry. CB plus CB square. CB, I have CB is also there. Yeah, CB cos alpha. 1 plus CB, 1 plus CB, sorry. 1 plus CB plus CB square plus CB cube. So V1 square, V1 cos alpha comes out. Then I have all the quantities with respect to U. Okay, with respect to U, what I have actually, if I take U outside, what I have actually, there is, yeah, minus 1. So it is 2 plus, then B's, there is a CB. Okay, so CB, how many CBs are there? Only one CB, that's it. Yeah, so this is what I have. It is only one CB. 2 plus CB. CBs how many are there? Minus 2 CB minus minus 2 CB minus 3 CB. So minus 1 CB. So it is 3 CB. 3 CB plus. So U CB square is there? Yes. Minus 2 CB square. That is, so it will be 2 CB square plus, how many CB cube is there? Yeah, minus 1 CB. So that is, if I take minus common, it is this thing. So now you have this particular thing. Okay. So what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to define that as some constant. So let K1 is equal to 1 plus CB plus CB square plus CB cube. Okay. And K2 is equal to 2 plus 3CB plus 2CB square plus CB cube. Then what will happen? This will become constants. Okay. Therefore, your delta VW is equal to K1 V1 cos alpha 1 minus K2 into U. So let me call that as some equation number, some 11 or something. Okay, this is your delta VW. Now I have to take this and substitute in your expression for the blade efficiency. So substituting for delta VW in equation 1. In equation 1, we get the expression for blade efficiency. The blade efficiency is equal to 2u into K1 V1 cos alpha 1 minus K2 into U divided by V1 square. Okay, V1 square. So this is the simply, so case 2 is more effective than compared to your case 1. So case 1, it was just simply writing in terms of alpha 1, alpha 2. You can't. So if I go and write all the things in terms of alpha, that is your flow entry to the first row will, this is the complicated equation what we get, that we are trying to simplify based on the constants. Okay, so let me call this as equation number 2. Okay, now, so we know the speed ratio, that is phi is equal to u by v1, or I can write u is equal to phi into v1. So to substitute for it actually, so I'll substitute for it. Your blade efficiency is equal to, wherever u is there, I can write it as phi into v1 into k1 v1 into cos alpha 1 minus k2 into phi into v1 whole thing divided by v1 square. Okay, now if I take my v1 square outside, this will be 2 phi into v1 square into k1 cos alpha 1 minus k2 into phi divided by v1 square. So v1 square just simply cancel out. I'm left with only your blade efficiency is equal to, your blade efficiency is equal to, it's a very lengthy derivation, you have to 2 phi into k1 cos alpha 1 minus k2 into phi. So let me call this as equation number 13. So this is the equation which is the blade for the blade efficiency, which is the function of only phi for a given value of constants k1, k2 and alpha. Okay, so the equation, so the equation, so the equation 13 is a function of speed ratio phi. It's a function of speed ratio phi with k1 and k2 are the constants, and for a given value of, for a given value of alpha 1. That means I'm going to choose a particular this thing. So to maximize this, okay, to maximize the blade efficiency, blade or vane efficiency, what we will do, we will differentiate this with respect to phi. We'll try to differentiate this with respect to phi and equate it to 0. With respect to phi and equate it to 0. So what will happen? That means it is d by d pi of 2 pi into k1 cos alpha 1 minus 2 k2 into phi square. I'm just opening the bracket. So what will happen if I differentiate this? This will be simply 2 k1 cos alpha 1 minus 2 into 2, it will be 4 k2 into phi 2. So pi to the power of 2 minus 1. Okay, this is 4 k2 into phi. 4 k2 into phi, or I can write 2 k1 cos alpha 1 is equal to 4 k2 into pi, or I can write your pi optimal is equal to k1 by k2 into cos alpha 1 by 2. So let me call that as equation number 14. Okay, this is the optimal value of your phi. if I try to substitute this, okay, if I substitute this in my equation 13, okay, substituting this in equation 13, I'll be getting my maximum efficiency. So before that, I told that for a frictionless flow, it has been experimentally found for a frictionless flow, for a frictionless flow, Cb is equal to 1. That's fine. That becomes constant. Then it has been found that the K1 values roughly, this will be in and around 4 and K2 will be roughly around 8. 7.89, something like that. So it has been rounded off to 8. It has been. So in that case, what will happen? Your phi optimum is equal to 4 by 8 into cos alpha 1 by 2, or simply, so 4 will go off, so it will be simply cos alpha 1 by 4. Let me call this as equation number 5. So this is your, see, this is just one half of the value of your particular thing. Okay, this is for a particular case. See what I am trying to show here. This is for a particular case. For a particular case, when is the frictionless flow with the constants K1 this thing. Otherwise, I have to go with this K1, K2 cos alpha. That will be your maximum efficiency for general case. Okay, for a general case, I have to do it. So what will happen if there are n rows? What will happen if there are 3 rows? What will happen if there are 4 rows? I can simply put some cos alpha 1 divided by 2n. Okay, 2n or something we can put. Anyhow, 2 rows is enough. So let's go to whatever the value I'm trying to get here, cos alpha 1, that's just one half of it. For a general case, what will happen? If I try to, for a general case, your maximum blade efficiency will be equal to, let me substitute that. What is the value of your phi? Phi is equal to, so wherever you have this particular thing, I will substitute that. It is 2 into K1 by K2 into cos alpha 1 by 2. Okay, then this is K1 cos alpha 1 minus K2 into K1 by K2 into cos alpha 1 by 2. So this is actually 2 just cancel out. I can write it as K1 square by K2 into cos square alpha 1. Okay, cos square alpha 1 or cos alpha 1. So 2 is there. So 2 just goes off. K1 square by K2 into, this is cos square alpha 1. Okay, cos square alpha 1 minus, so K2 will just go off. I have 1 with K1 square. K1 square. And what else is there? So this K2. So K1 square. I have 2. 2 is there. Okay, I have 2. So 2 is there. So no, 2 will just go off here. 1 minute. This 2 will go off. I'm left with only, this will be, so K1 square. This will be K1 square divided by K2 into cos alpha 1 by 2. Okay, cos alpha 1 by 2. Or I can write simply this one, K1 square by K2 into cos alpha 1. If I take it out, I can write it as simply, so this will be K1 square, this is cos square alpha by 2. Sorry, just simply, no, it is cos square alpha. This is cos square alpha. Both are cos square alpha. This will be cos alpha into this will be cos square alpha. I'm left with only, sorry, what happened? It's not writing. Okay, this is only cos square alpha 1 by 2. So this is your generalized expression. Okay, generalized expression. K1 square by K2 into cos square alpha 1 by 2. So there is a general case for n rows. For n rows of the wheel, for the n rows of the turbine wheel, what will happen? Already we know that. See, if you go back and see here, so just for the n rows, I can write pi optimum is equal to your k1 into k2 by cos alpha 1 by 2n. So that's a general. Okay, I can write pi optimum is equal to k1 by k2 into cos alpha 1 by 2n. Okay, what is this actually? N rows. This is a very generalized case. This is very generalized case. Okay, if I want to find the power actually, so if I want to find that, if for a power, I can write the power will be equal to mass flow rate into whatever we had delta VW into U. So you need not do this derivation. If you want to write that, I can write it for the power generation. Substitute for this delta VW and multiply by, see, this is your work done. This is your work done multiplied by your mass flow rate will fetch you the power. Okay. Anyway, it's a very, very lengthy derivation. So you have to practice a lot. You have to practice. Even I made little bit of mistakes in between actually to correct it. So it was not in a flow. But most important thing is here in your case one, just for understanding, that's it. Case two is very important for you, where you are trying to get all the values in terms of alpha. All the values you are trying to get in terms of alpha 1 and you are trying to get in terms of airspeed ratio. So practice it. It may be around 3 to 4 pages it will come. If you do the derivation, it will come to around 3 to 4 pages. Is that clear? So any doubts? So maybe I'll release these notes. We can just go through that and practice. Hello? Any doubts? Anything you want to tell? Hello?
No, sir.
Difficult to understand. One go, it's very difficult to understand. You have to do a little bit of practice. That's also very much required. What I will do is I will try to share these notes and I will try to upload this thing also. So you can stop the recording. You can stop the recording. Okay, fine. So